Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, which we are going to call My Retinitis Pigmentosa Experience Part 5B, which I think might wrap up Part 5 here. We might go to Part C depending on how today goes. But today we're going to continue to talk about sort of how my college experience at Penn State New Kensington has been beneficial to me and empowering for me as someone with retinitis pigmentosa. So in the last video, I really touched on, in the 5 minutes that we had, on the impact that being in close proximity to a lot of other people my age and being able to have a social experience with very little effort without having to worry about driving anywhere, things like that. It was more the positive social implications of living in the off-campus housing as opposed to commuting, and some of the clubs and organizations that I was involved in, and the benefits that those gave me as someone with RP. Today we're going to talk about how the academic aspects of college at Penn State New Kensington were beneficial to me. Not only as someone with retinitis pigmentosa, but just as a young person in general. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to major in when I went to college. I started in business and switched from business to education, and then from education to psychology, and then finally from psychology to communications. And these weren't formal changes or anything on paper. They were just kind of in my head, and then taking classes, playing around with a couple things. And it was just a time check. And I finally fixated on communications. And communications was interesting because it was a very writing-oriented major, very into the written communication space. And I've always been a good writer. As long as I could write, I remember being a pretty good writer. And that was really brought to the forefront in the communications program. So it felt good to, I should say, it was brought to the forefront in a way that it hasn't really been in the past. Like when you're in middle school and high school, English is like one class, and maybe you write a couple papers a year and that's it. But in the communications program, almost every assignment was written in nature. And I remember just feeling really good about getting good feedback on my projects and my assignments that I would do in college, and it did a lot for my confidence, and it just made me feel like my skills were being appreciated, both verbal and written. Verbal, we got to throw that in there too. I've always been a good talker, and they just those two things really being valued, on the part of my professors. We're doing another time check. Valued on the part of my professors and other faculty that I didn't have, and interacting with them and communicating with them, outside of a classroom setting, and the staff and other students, and it just made me feel good. And anything that you can do as someone with a visual impairment or a disability, or anybody in general, anything that you can do that will bring your inborn skills to the front in a practical, productive way, does marvelous things for your self-esteem and for your confidence. And I feel that that's a big reason why the communications degree was a good option for me, as well as the flexibility that the communications degree offers. And yeah, that's really it for the academic side of things. And again, I'm very grateful for the experience I had there, both socially and academically. I may or may not do a part C to this, but we'll see. So again, please leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you very much, and have a good day, guys.